Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Astrology and Pending Karma. And once again, today I brought to you one of more transit videos. Today I have for you guys Jupiter transiting over natal planets. Now, first we're going to talk about Jupiter transiting over natal Saturn, natal Sun, Moon, and Mercury. I'll go with you each one at a time, but before as I go forward, you must remember that this is a transit video where it is a general video. At the same time, it is also a little bit specific about the planetary transits on specific natal planets. Now, you have to remember that all these videos do depend on certain assumptions based on number one is Desh, Kal, and Patra, which is what country you belong to, what time are you looking at these transits as in what is the general trend in the world and the lifestyle. You also want to look at that. And the last is if you're looking for a male or a female and where this male and or female were brought up. So these are the main things that you want to consider. So the first things first you got to remember is what is Jupiter. So let's talk about that. So what does Jupiter signify in astrology? So Jupiter is Jiva, it's the self, it's the natural Atmakaraka in the horoscope, which is basically who you are, what as a person who you are going to be, and what happens to you in life is generally seen from Jupiter. Now this is specifically considered as a Jiva Karaka in Nadi astrology or Bhrigu Nandi Nadi astrology. So we're going to take a look at that in that perspective. Even otherwise, Jupiter is considered to be a teacher, a professor, or someone who teaches you in life. Jupiter represents expansion in particular area of life, depending on what planet it's going over and or what house it's going over as well. Jupiter represents spirituality and knowledge. Jupiter is long distance travel and living in distance places because it's a natural karaka for 9th and the 12th house. Jupiter represents blessings, clarity, and good time. Usually Jupiter transits are considered to be positive. I've never seen it give a bad result. The only issue here is that if it's transiting over something that represents negative in your chart, then it just expands or just kind of tries to protect that area of life. If not giving any positive news, at least it'll try and protect you. Now, Jupiter represents blessings from the forefathers as well. Like I said, in terms of body parts, Jupiter represents liver, kidneys, and pancreas, more of your stomach area. Jupiter represents spending time with kids because Jupiter is natural karaka or fifth house, happiness and prosperity in a generic sense. The result of this transit is felt a month before the date of actual transit. So Jupiter is going to transit in April. It's going to transit into Aries sign, and if you have one of these planets that I'm mentioning, Sun, Moon, and or Mercury, then these are the results that you can expect. So let's, without further ado, let's talk about Jupiter transit over natal moon. So so what happens when Jupiter transit over natal moon? So as you can see on the screen here, Jupiter moon is largely a significator of changes and travel. And Jupiter, as you remember, I told you in the first slide, Jupiter is yourself, your Jiva. So what happens when Jupiter transit over moon? When Jupiter transit over moon, you can expect some significant changes in your life because remember it's a 13-month period, and when it transits over moon, it's gonna try to affect your mind in a certain way. It makes you positive. It makes you want to make some changes in your life. It can also signify some travels in your life. So it could be a long distance potentially. If originally in your chart there is a promise of travel, long distance travel, then definitely when Jupiter transit over Moon, this can show some kind of travel time for you. Now, if you don't have a promise of long distance travel in your chart, it can show some kind of religious travel within the country where you live. And it is considered to be a good time for the native's mother because moon represents mother, and the mother may become more religious during this time as well because remember Jupiter is one of the religious and or spiritual planet because it rules the natural ninth house. Um, Also, sometimes the natives suffer due to overconfidence or over-optimism, depending on other combinations in the chart. If you see that the planet or if there is a promise of confidence, a positive chart, then it can sometimes overly make the person overtly optimistic as well. Now, occasionally the native might also get unnecessarily blamed or get a blemish on their character because Moon is in Bhrigu Nandi Nadi, Moon is a karaka for blames or getting blamed. So Jupiter being yourself, when Jupiter transits over there, it might increase some kind of allegations on the person as well. Now, overall, this transit also shows transfer or change of residence, especially if Moon is conjunct or in trine with the sign of Saturn. Now, in Bhrigu Nandi Nadi, we always consider trines as conjunct as well. Not only the fact that Moon is sitting with a certain planet, but also if there are certain planets sitting in the trinal signs of the Moon, even then we would consider that planet being in conjunction with Moon. So like I said, I mean, it shows changes, it shows travel. So definitely change transfers on the job or change of residence can also be seen when this happens. And that's it for Jupiter transit over Moon. Now we'll talk about Jupiter transit over natal Saturn. My bad, I said natal Saturn, but actually Jupiter transit over natal Sun is what we're going to see. Just like Moon represents your mother, Sun usually represents your father or any authority in your life. Like even your bosses can be seen from Sun. Sun is also your ancestors, and Sun is your first male child as well. Sun is also creativity because it naturally rules the fifth house of the Kalpurush Kunli. Sun is a natural Amatya Karaka or Atma Karaka as well, which is soul's purpose or path in this life. Now, in Vedic astrology, Sun shows the soul's purpose in Bhrigu Nandi Nadi is usually the Jupiter that shows that. So I've written that in both. Now, Sun is the central or federal government, enlightenment, name and fame, and many more things. So usually when you see that Jupiter transiting over Sun, it may show that you're kind of in the limelight. You're highlighted in wherever you are or whatever you're doing. You can be in school, you can be in college studies, or you can be in also a job as well. So you may also feel that some of your documentation, or if you're waiting for some approvals from the government, this is the time that you might get it easily. Again, you do have to consider what other planets Sun conjunct with, but usually that's what it means. It shows being famous, it shows being creative during this time. The transit shows good time for the native and the father, good name and fame, inclination towards religion and spirituality, spending time with kids and the father, and any other authority in your life. So even if you have a boss, you can, if depending on what other conjunctions you have, you usually come across that your authorities in your life are being more favorable to you than being adverse in general. And like I said, it also represents creativity. So you might take up new hobbies, or you might even start thinking about your finances, because that's what fifth house usually represent. Like I also mentioned, it's also the time when you get recognized by your superior, your bosses at work, your surroundings in general, and in family circle. That's what Jupiter transiting over natal Sun represents. It's also a great time for the father of the native whose Jupiter is transiting over their natal Sun. Next, we're going to talk about is Jupiter transit over natal Mercury. So when Jupiter transits over Mercury, or if it's in trine, or if it's aspecting Mercury in 159 conjunctions, or if seventh house as well, in all those cases, Jupiter, these effects will be felt. Now, Mercury is a significator of education, business, commercial activity, mathematics, statistics, logic, astrology, girlfriend or boyfriend, disputes, celebrations, and many more things. Now, usually when Jupiter transits over Mercury, it's considered to be definitely a good time for the native. The native is definitely going to start learning some new thing. It could be depending on, like, if the person is a driver, they may start thinking about enrolling into new course of driving, or if they're thinking about getting into new kind of activity. Definitely, this is the time when they will usually think about it. It's also a time when you can start thinking about getting into a new business. You may start thinking about, now again, you need to see in your original chart if there is a promise of long-term activity. If not, then at least you may start thinking about earning some commissions, or you may earn through some kind of third-party commissions income as well. This is also a time, like I said, it's a girlfriend and or a boyfriend, depending on the native chart, if it's a male or a female, which means that may enter into a new relationship with a girlfriend and or a boyfriend. The formal education can be of any nature, like learning to drive, learning to code, or something completely new. Now, because Mercury is one of the planets of mathematics, statistics, and is also related to astrology, you may also, learn astrology or start listening to videos, be interested in astrology during this time. If there is a planetary conjunction which shows that you can be an astrologer, this could be one of the times when you will start thinking about astrology, especially if Ketu is involved, Saturn is involved. Then you can also even perform or start your business as an astrologer as well. So that's the overall conjunction video or transit video for Jupiter transiting over natal Sun, Moon, and Mercury. If you have more questions, please write into a comment section like before. I see that I got a lot of views. I got busy with some of the other stuff, but I really appreciate you commenting on my video, watching my videos as well. So thank you so much for watching today, and see you next video. Thank you. Bye now.